Yo, welcome to another episode of 17 Winners with your brother Mike X. As y'all can see, ain't y'all getting used to seeing, right? I've just been getting used to doing this on camera, right? So as you can see, not only am I not in my studio, but I got a special guest. I say that every episode, don't I? But you can see how special my guest is because this is a strong black woman that's sitting next to me this time instead of another hard leg. So I want everybody that's watching, everybody listening, I want to give you a real welcome. So first and foremost, the star of BET's American Gangster Trap Queens edition. What I didn't do was remember to put down which number of the episode it is, but this is the star of BET's American Gangster Trap Queens, Starr Austin. But greater than that, before I even pass her the mic to kind of talk about her own herself a little bit, man, this sister is a lot more than what BET showed, and I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that because not only was she heavy on the hustling tip in the street, right? So I watched your special, and I went ahead and spent the money to make sure I could watch it, right, and support you the right way. But beyond that, I was like, damn, this sister was kind of high tech on it, right? Because in my day, we was car thieves. And I thought we was high tech. We was like breaking into the car lots and getting the cars with the keys and, you know what I'm saying? So I thought we was high tech until I saw you. I was like, oh, no, we was on some Lance and shit. You know? But then besides that, though, the after the 10 years, that was the real thing that attracted me to you and your movement, that brought me to wanting to have a conversation with you. And that was the FELONY Girls movement. I don't know a lot about it because this is the first conversation I'm getting to have, but what I can see from following and watching is that it's not only a real sisterhood, but it's real reentry at work for us, by us. And when I say us, I mean formerly incarcerated. Yes. So I say all of that to say, y'all give her a warm round of applause. I figured out how to work my thing so I can hit the round of applause for us. Give us just a warm round of applause and a warm welcome to the 17 Winners podcast. Welcome, Starr Austin. Sister, how are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, matter of fact, let me make sure I can hear you before I take off my headphones and get comfortable. Because I can hear good, but I want to make sure I can hear you well.
Okay.
How was your drive? Because this was a trip. You no longer live in Michigan, right? So you had to come to Michigan, handle some business, and then drive down from Detroit?
Yes, I drove from Detroit. It was cool. It was an hour, so, it was straight, yeah.
Man, I appreciate that. I appreciate the sacrifices you're making for the people that you support, as well as the sacrifices that you made, like getting here. Y'all may hear in the background a little bit, there's a little bit of a whimper of a baby. What's your baby's name?
Her name is Stardom.
Of course, her name is Stardom. That is perfect. So baby Stardom is in the room. This may be her first interview that she's ever been a part of. So let that be on the record. When she get a little older, she get to hear herself. But yeah, I appreciate you bringing the family out. I appreciate you coming down and have this conversation with me. I can hear you, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the headphones off. Before we get too deep into the conversation, I do want to take a second and shout out 420 Premium Cannabis. If y'all can see, I got the hat on the table as well as I'm wearing a hoodie today. Shout out to my people over there, Henry. Shout out to E. Premium Cannabis for not so premium costs. And for real, they just always show me love and support me and threw this to me today. So I was like, well, I'm gonna make sure I'm wear it since I'm doing this interview today, and it's gonna be an important interview for me. Let y'all get this little bit of shine.
That's right.
So, yeah, shout out to y'all. But with that being said, so first and foremost, I kind of got a format on the show, and the format goes by where you from, right? Now I kind of alluded to Detroit, right? But a little bit of where you from. We ain't no true crime show, so I ain't really interested too much into the trauma porn of your case and all that. I want to talk to you about some different stuff.
Right.
But I do kind of want to know a little bit about what you went to the joint for, And first, do you remember your prison number?
528846.
So I asked that question to everybody that comes on the podcast. One, because this is a podcast for basically those who did it for the most part. I do have conversations with people who have not like been to prison and quote unquote committed crimes for the sake of ending mass incarceration and discussing mass incarceration. But the real birth of this podcast was for us who not only like was actually in the mix and actually doing shit, but decided to make changes in our lives while we were inside. And outside, coming home and doing the things with the changes that we made. So when I asked about knowing your prison number, part of it is that, and the other part is that motherfucker burned into you, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
That it's like your other name.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about where you from. You know, a little bit about your background, and then I got some more questions for you.
Okay. So I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Born Hustle Hospital. At the age of 3, I actually moved to Mississippi with my father, and I stayed in Mississippi from 3 years old up until maybe like 12 years old. Once I turned 12, I ended up moving back to Detroit, Michigan with my mother and the rest of my siblings.
For sure. And then, of course, we're not gonna tell that story here because I want y'all to go and spend that whatever 99 to go see it on the BET Plus.
That's right.
But she had a fast life, got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Sister, that was, man.
Yeah. Season 4.
Season 4, yup, season 4.
Episode 7.
Okay, there we go, episode 7. Season 4, episode 7. Yeah, so that was an exciting thing, but you've been home how long now?
I have actually been home since 2017.
Okay, so you came home a little bit after I came home, and in the time that you have been home, you have accomplished several things.
Yes.
But one thing, namely, that I got started with at the beginning was the FELONY Girls.
Yes.
Can you please tell us a little bit more about that? Like, please help my listeners understand what exactly the brand represents and what you do.
Okay. So first it started out with FELONY hair. So I started a hairline called FELONY Hair. So I'm gonna tell you how we got the name FELONY Girls.
Okay.
So we started out with FELONY Hair. I came home first, and then 2 of my friends came home after me, shortly after me. And, you know, we're really close. So I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's do this together. You know, like one of y'all do FELONY lashes, another one do FELONY, you know, whatever you want to do. And so at the time, my one friend, Dominica, she was like, oh, I love lashes. I'm going to do FELONY lashes. And then Rashida, shout out to Rashida, free Nunu. You know, Nunu, she's from Lansing. But yeah, so then Nunu was like, I want to start a lip gloss line. So I'll just do FELONY lip gloss.
Right, because
So,
I remember she was pushing that
yeah,
for a minute.
FELONY lip gloss. So we was like, all right. So now we got this brand. So I'm not going to say no names out of the 3 of us. But one of us, let me exclude myself out, went over to their partner's house and caught him with another woman. And so an altercation went down. And in the altercation, a friend of mine said, hey, y'all some FELONY girls. So then, like, later on that day, we just started pondering on that name, like, FELONY Girls. All right, we kind of like this. So at first, you know, we just like using the name, like we'll go out like, yeah, we the FELONY Girls. We the FELONY Girls. And then we just was like, listen, let's just make this a little bit more powerful, because now we got other people who were also incarcerated, like, yeah, I'm a FELONY girl. And Dominica, she has, so when she first came home, she started her nonprofit organization. And so, she's with her Glow, Girls Loving Our Wisdom. And so that's her program, her main program at that. And so she didn't want to put out this perception that, we were portraying to just be a bunch of felons, because we already have that stigma now. And so we started taking that word felony girls. We started noticing that it started becoming popular, and other women started calling themselves felony girls. So because we already have this stigma that we've been in prison and we're a felon, and we're not going to be nothing, or we're not going to go anywhere, it was like, let's kind of change the narrative on this, and let's put an acronym to this. That's how felony, we turned it into female entrepreneurs launching opportunities, never yielding. And that just basically means, like, we're some female entrepreneurs that's never going to stop. We're never going to give up on our goals, dreams. It doesn't matter our past. Like, we're just going to keep pushing. Just keep going. So that's how we ended up with Felony Girls, and then just turning it into a positive instead of keeping it into a negative, because that's what it was starting to turn into.
That's hard. Hold on, because I gotta acknowledge that I didn't even realize that's all. I did notice I did know about the felony hair. I saw you had the felony hair. I saw the felony lip gloss that Sheeta was doing.
Yeah.
I think I seen Dominica had the nails, right?
No, lashes.
Lashes.
Yeah,
lashes.
Yeah.
So I did see that, and I saw the entrepreneurial side of it, but I never realized that. First of all, that it came out as that was just a thing y'all was doing.
Yeah.
That turned into the business side. And then that it was truly entrepreneurial. I thought y'all original aim was reentry. So how did you get to doing reentry?
So reentry was always our passion. So when I actually came home, so when I was in prison, my mom, she used to say, hey, what do you want to do when you come home? And I said, I want to help women. I see it's a lot of women that continuously come back to prison, and every time I'm asking them, like, hey, what's going on out there? Like, y'all making me scared to, go home. They would say, it's hard out here. Family isn't the same no more. Like, it's just not easy. It's hard to get a job. It's hard to get a place to stay. You can only stay at your family house for so long, and then you get kicked out. So with that being said, when my mom, as I just stated, she said, what do you want to do when you come home? And I said, I want to have a 3/4 home. I want to have a halfway house for women to have a place to stay where they just feel comfortable, and we're just helping them just get acclimated back into society. So my mom said, okay, I got you. So she helped me open up. Well, no, when I came home, she already had the house open for me. And so when I got there, it was me, my mom, and then she had 2 other women. And I'm just like, dang, I'm just coming straight home. But at this time, I'm just like, dang, I just left, being 10 years in prison with all these women.
Right.
I just need a little break. I didn't know it was going to go that fast. And so, nevertheless, like I said, my mom passed it down to me. So the re-entry part was already there. The thing is, what I'm noticing now, just learning, just even getting acclimated back into society, what I'm learning now is, it seems like beauty captivate the internet. Right. So I start learning, what is it that people like? People like flashiness. They like glamour, and so that's how felony hair even started. So once I started felony hair, I knew that I was going to grab the world attention to just start hearing me. Because even though I'm just speaking about I have a halfway house, how many people may have a halfway house, but they're not getting the recognition or the shine that they have. Sure. So it's just like, okay, now if I go ahead and throw a wig on my head, put some lip gloss on, put a cute little outfit on, people gonna be like, oh, is that her? She's cute. I like her. Now they're interested in me knowing my story and who I am. And so it's like the reentry was there, but because I did this, now you guys hear me. There you go. You know what I'm saying? So now my voice is being heard. So now it's like, oh, I like her. Oh, okay, this is what she have going on. And it's crazy because this is the world today. So
did you do that on purpose? What I just peeped, did you do that on purpose?
What?
That's the same hustle that you I'm just saying. Did I peep? Am
My
I peeping
man
something?
say I'm still a manipulator.
Girl, because I swear to God, I'm like, hold on. This sounds familiar, the breakdown of what she's saying.
Listen, some things in you change, and some things you gotta tweak a little bit.
So that's my stance on mass incarceration in general, right? Is a lot of the skill set that we develop in the street is actually the same skill set that's used in corporate America or elsewhere.
Yeah.
But because of the way that we're policed and the way that our communities have been ravaged, if we just look at these last 40 years, right, the whole crack era, if you just look at that, that's how we got to this point. It ain't like we bad people and like because I hate the narrative, we got to let them know that we ain't bad people. I ain't know, we wasn't never bad people.
Right.
It's our humanity that
Right.
needs to be shown.
Right.
What needs to be shown is the hypocrisy of this system. That's what needs to be exposed. But I digress. I'm just saying, I peeped something. You know? But go ahead.
You can take the girl out the hood.
But you cannot take the hood out of the girl, yeah, for sure.
So, so boom. So, now we have created Felony Hair. So now as I'm telling my story, because, when I came home, I did move to Pittsburgh. And that's what my family had moved to before I even got incarcerated. They had moved there when I was maybe like 18, 19 years old. So they been residing in Pittsburgh. And so, of course,
and you did a fair bit, right?
No, state.
No, you did state. You just said your number.
State.
You got a fine number.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. In that part of your transition, because I did something similar, did you do your, what is it called, your interstate compact while inside, or did you wait to come home? You did?
Yeah.
You didn't want to wait to come
home? No,
I
did want to wait to come home. And my mom and them was like, no, you're going to wait, and it's okay. I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, they don't even understand. Because I was already past. Yeah, because I was already past my ERD. I had got a flop. And I'm like, dang, I done been here 9 years, and I done got a flop, due to my behavior in prison. I got the flop. So now, I was. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little angry little thing when I came to prison with all that time. But nevertheless, toward the end of my bid, I started getting it together. Sure. And I, just started knowing like what it was. I wasn't like set in on, I didn't see this, I seen my vision of, what I wanted to do in life, where I wanted to be, but I didn't. You know how you can just like see something, but then it's just like because all your life, you just been let down, and you just didn't have so many failures in life. So it's just like you have this hope, this expectation that your life is going to be here, or it could be here, but because all you have known and all you have seen in your life is failure, it's just like, well, what's to say I'm not going to have no more failure? Now I'm a felon. I've been gone a decade of my life. The world is completely changed now. So, what's going to be so much different? So, this was what was playing in my mind. But I still had the faith. Like, girls that walk that yard with me, I absolutely love and hip hop. I used to always just be a fan of like reality TV and be like, yeah, we're going to be on TV, y'all. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Like, I'm always saying that. So, for them to know me, it's like, yes, that girl always talked about that. She loved reality TV. Like, that was Starr. But, yeah, so when I came home.
That means something too. Like, whatever you continue to manifest while you walk in them circles on that yard,
it will come back full circle.
That's what it really be. Because when I'm talking to people, even brothers that I left in the joint, they be like, X, I knew you was going to have a podcast. Yeah. Like, how you knew? I didn't even say I was going to do it. Like, but bro, you used to always, and this is how, and it just was that.
It just was that.
They know, they can tell that consistency.
Yep.
So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah,
but go ahead. I ain't
so we have the house, and so I start Felony Hair. We're going back to Felony Hair. Okay, so now I created Felony Hair, and now I'm having more of a voice because of course the beauty is captivating the world, So now it's just like, people are paying attention to what I have going on, and so now, like I said, my girls get out of prison, they start their brand, and then which was the felony, under the felony empire, and then boom, we go into the felony girls, and then felony girls. So we did not expect for it to blow like that.
Right.
It just went crazy, and so it's just like when
it was y'all picking each other up from the joint. It was like dog. It's hard as hell.
Yes.
Because it was also another example of like how women come together and do like the solid thing.
Yeah.
What I don't think a lot of people realize is that y'all visiting rooms look a lot different than ours. When I went on the visit, it was a sea of women in the visiting room coming to see guys in the joint.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? I would be out there, it'd be women bringing the kids, grandmama bringing, like, they would make sure and have support. Y'all on the other end.
None of that.
It ain't too many niggas that's going back up to no penitentiaries to check on their baby mama. Or to, like, check on little sis or none of that, right?
So, hold on, wait. Don't mean to cut you off, but why is that?
Well, I personally believe one has a lot to do with, like, y'all nature. I think the nature of a woman is to nurture.
For sure.
So, like, it's in you. That's my baby. I ain't gonna leave my baby in that place, right? And the other thing is, like, I think it has to do with the vein of the streets. And that is, ain't no real loyalty in that shit. Especially when you're looking at niggas, the way we move. Like, you've been seeing this fuck the streets movement that's been happening with the rappers?
Yeah.
Okay, so my take on that is that shit is ingenuous. That shit is unauthentic and it lacks integrity. Because you niggas was street as ever until y'all homeboys start ratting and you gotta let go of your homeboys. And now, fuck the streets. Like, I agree, fuck the streets. Right. I was traumatized by the streets too.
Right.
I was involved in some shit that I was tricked into. Niggas made me think that this was the way to go. I was given core values that I thought I was supposed to stand on, right? But once I actually got in the mix and actually got in the penitentiary, I realized, man, them niggas been telling. Ain't no back in the day when they wasn't telling. That's always been the case. It ain't these young niggas be telling now, no.
Yeah.
So, like, all of that is the reason why I think that's the case.
Yeah.
What about, but I'm interested in your thoughts. Why you feel like men don't be supportive?
That's a good question. That's what I'd be wanting to know, because you're right. Women are nurturers. And, like you said, if my man went to jail today,
ain't no way you gonna leave him.
My man I'm holding him down. But that's not even
the thing, right?
Even the thing.
For sure.
But,
I'm not gonna speak nothing like that into existence.
But I will though. And you're right. That's just the loyalty side of a woman and the nurturing side of a woman. I just think with a man, I don't know. I can't think for a man. I just really do not know. I just really do not know. I just be like, what is wrong with you?
In the streets, we have like these fake codes, but they don't really stand on them. So like, ain't no real loyalty in the streets. There's no real honor among thieves. Yeah. So like, people used to tell me that when you go to jail, you're gonna see who all your friends is. And when I went to the joint, I'll never forget filling out my visitor list. When I went to the joint, there was 20 people on your visitor list. And I remember writing down all of the names I could think, like, I know dog gonna come check me out. And I know baby girl gonna come see. And I remember sending out them visiting applications. Ain't none of them motherfuckers come back. Yeah. Only visiting application. I think I sent out 20. I think I got 6. It was my mama, my sister, brother, granny, my daddy, I think. Oh, no, my daddy was actually in the joint at the same time. But, like, no, I ain't get nothing but about 5 or 6 of them back. So, no, hell no. Men are not loyal. Yeah. When it comes to,
I'm talking about not even answering. Like, after a while, they don't even answer the
phone. What? You having to call your girl and, hey, call this nigga phone through this phone. Right? I ain't like, so like, that's why I feel like the visiting room is different, because I know for a fact I wouldn't have been able to handle my bit the way women have to handle y'all bit. But that also, I believe, leads to how y'all build such a strong sisterhood. Yeah. Because y'all have to kind of depend on each other in there, right? Yes, for sure. So talk to me about that dynamic, because, of course, outside looking in, it seems like y'all become like a real family, like mamas, sisters, aunties, like it becomes a whole unit.
Yeah.
Do it be like multiple families? Like, is it a?
I think in there, everybody have their cliques.
Okay.
So I had my people that I ran with. Shout out to my girl Jonetta. She just came home 22 years, so we went to go pick up.
Okay. Shout out, love.
Yes.
Need to have a conversation with you. I want to support all of y'all.
Yes. So Jonetta, she was actually one of my first friends in prison. She actually came up. I was in a quarantine. And so, we were up there in quarantine, everybody's, figuring out how much time you got. And so they, put you where you're supposed to be according to your time. So everybody knew downstairs was people that had like 6 years or more. So I'm up there with everybody that got like 2 years, 3 years. I'm so embarrassed that I got 9 years because I was sentenced to 9 years, but I ended up doing 10 years.
Right.
A lot of people be like a lot of confused about it. But anyway, so she came up to get my bags. And I said, and everybody was like, Starr, why are you going downstairs? And I was like, I don't know. I got to talk to the PC. What is going on? And so she said, Jonetta said, you got to talk to the PC. She was like, how much time you got? I was like, I only have 4 years. And she was like, what? Oh, we're gonna get this situated. We're going to get this fixed. And in my head, I'm like, girl, I got 9 years. Yeah, ain't nothing to get fixed. But we clicked. And, man, it was some wild years. But it was like...
You was like the female version of a YN. When I was watching this, I was like, this nigga was tripping. Like, I wasn't tripping like that. I came in the joint with the mentality like I had life. I was in there. I was originally sentenced to 16 to 40, and so let me break that down for them because people don't be understanding what you mean when you say I was sentenced to 9, but I did 10. So First and foremost, in Michigan, on average, we do 120% of our time, which means that we are doing basically an extra year added on to whatever we got sentenced to, or years. Your case, it would have been a year, and 9 extra 10% is a full year. So I was sentenced to 16 to 40. And I did 15 because I got a reduction. I went to court. I got myself in court and got a sentence, resentenced. In Starr's case, she got a flop. And what a flop is you go see the parole board after you reach your minimum sentence, because in Michigan in 1998, I ain't gonna say we shit. I ain't have nothing to do with it.
Me neither.
But Michigan created a law that said you would be sentenced to a certain amount of time, and you will be forced to do the entire amount of that time. They call it truth in sentencing. But what that did was they marketed the law as if there would be no longer a parole board and you would do your time and then come home. But what happened was, not only did they not disband the parole board, but they started issuing lengthier sentences, and that is where the prison boom that we are dealing with here in Michigan now came from, during the crack era and the truth in sentencing era. So that's how she ended up doing 10 years and was only sentenced to 9. And you can say behavior all you want to, but like, you're inside of a cage. Look, it's damn near like the crabs in the barrel thing. Why wouldn't the crab act like a crab? Why are you putting the damn crabs in the barrel? That's the problem. They shouldn't be in the barrel. Of course they're going to act like a crab in the barrel. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that my audience understood that.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. Truth in sentencing. But, yeah, so me and Jonetta, Tasha Toothman, Trina Norman, we had a team, man. They said we were in a gang called the West Side 8. It was crazy.
Okay. I like that. West Side 8.
In West Side 8. But yeah, we did. We was a mess. Let's say that. Yeah, we were the YNs, the female YNs for sure. But we definitely changed our life now. I want to make that very clear. We definitely changed our life now, but we did form a sisterhood. And what I love about these women today, and this is very important for me to say. So, my BET premiere, I'm skipping ahead real quick, but my BET premiere, I invited a lot of women who were in the Valley with me. And it's only one female prison in the state of Michigan, which is Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility. And I invited these women, and let me tell you something. I didn't talk to a lot of them. A lot of them didn't like me. I didn't like them. But them women came out and they supported and they showed out for me. And when I say I am just so grateful, and this is, you know, the sisterhood that we are creating, and this goes back into what Felony Girls mean. When we originally started Felony Girls, it was just to inspire, of course, formerly incarcerated women, you know, just giving people hope. Like, you know, you can be a business owner, you can be a boss when you come home, giving people hope in the inside. And, you know, as you stated, we started, you know, picking up our people from prison. Like, you know, we want to pick them up. Like, we ain't about to, like, you know what I'm saying, leave them out there. And, you know, shout out to Cypress. Cypress had 25 years. Cypress is the reason why BET even reached out. We picked Cypress up. Cypress had a life sentence. They gave her, she was a lifer.
Is that the light-skinned sister?
Yeah, that's okay. Cypress, yeah.
Yeah, you be fresh as hell, B. You be fresh as hell.
Yeah, so Cypress, she was a parolable lifer. Okay. She got her parole, and we were just so ecstatic. And we was like, listen, we doing it big for Big Dog. Because, you know what I'm saying, Cypress, she has always, like, held us down. You know, she's just always had our back. Like, she loves us to death. And so, yeah, we was like, we pulling the red carpet out for her. Like, we finna do it big. Not knowing, baby, we got producers watching. And so, yeah, we did it big for Cypress and BET producers. They actually reached out to Dominica. Okay. And they said, hey, we need to know who you girls are, Felony Girls. And they said, we want to talk to Starr. We want to talk to Cypress. Like, we need to get y'all on the phone. And so Damo gave them our number. They reached out to us. They did an interview with all of us. And they was like, you know, Starr, you the runner-up first. Let's get it. You know, so it was just so, you know, I felt like all my hard work throughout the years. Because like you said, when I first came home, I just came out swinging. I came out like already starting a reality show. But I just feel like some people that were in that season of my life wasn't meant to be in that season of my life. And so that did not work. And a lot of money was spent on that. And like I said, it just didn't work out. And that was, you know, like 6-7 years ago. Now here we go. Fast forward, you know, BET reached out and they said, hey, you know, we want to hear your story. We want to air your story. And we just want you to, you know, tell who you were then and who you are now. And so now that Felony Girls, our brand, have just gotten bigger, you know, we are extending our platform. And now we're just like, you know, you ladies deserve a chance too to tell your story, to be on a platform. And what I love about us even shining light to our stories is it's just making more women come forth. Women don't like to talk about like they've been in prison. You don't hear many women like, oh yeah, I was in prison doing. You just hear more men speak about it. So, you know, we're coming out and we're just like, listen, we're not ashamed of our past. Like we did it, and this is who we were, and now this is who we are now, you know. Right. So I'm loving the fact that, like, you know, a lot of women, they start opening up, like, I'm ready to tell my story. You know, it's a lot of trauma, and I feel like telling your story just start healing. A lot of people are doing bad that we were incarcerated with, and it's just not to speak on nobody or like tell nobody personal business. No, but this is important. This is very important. A lot of people are doing bad, and I feel like the reason why they're doing bad is because mentally they are in prison. And I feel like it's two type of prisons, you know, it's physically and it's mentally. And mentally, these women are locked up and they're just so stagnated that they're not even able to go to the next level, you know. So as we started coming out and we started speaking about our story, we started healing some of our trauma from the past. Because when you start speaking of your story, you are actually speaking about things that have happened to you in the past. And then you didn't even know that it affects you that much until you start talking about it and you start crying like, what am I crying for? Like, I didn't expect to even start crying when I was, you know, filming for BET. And they're like, wow, Starr, you're really emotional. But I'm starting to speak this trauma. When people book me to come speak and I'm speaking to the youth about, you know, where I was and, you know, this is where I was at one day, and now I'm just seeing, this side of me is, I'm just starting to heal the inner kid inside of me. So I feel like that is just like really important for these women to tell their stories and get out of stagnation. And I don't want nobody to feel like, because a lot of people may look at us and feel like, oh, they got it made, but we did not have it made. We had more doors closed on us than we had a door open on us. Did you just not hear me say 6-7 years ago I started filming for a reality show? Now we're talking about 6-7 years later, I just finally got that breakthrough. So you see how many years. And it also takes silence. You go through a season in your life. Me, Dominica, Nunu, we were bullied so bad on the internet. And let me tell you something. We were bullied for years and years on the internet, seriously. And we knew that we were in a season. And this season that we were in, it was like you're going to stoop there or you're going to rise above. And so if you stoop there, you're going to just stay right there.
Man, I need to slow you down because it's so many points that you didn't hit that I don't want to miss. Matter of fact, Cam, is that camera still rolling, bro? Just making sure, because I don't want to have missed anything. You are on.
It's still rolling.
First and foremost, sis, the mouthful that you said when it came to healing, feeling, through telling your story, that's why this conversation was so important to me. Because one, I haven't had this conversation with women on the podcast, right? And it's not because I didn't desire to, it's just because it's hard to get women who have been to prison, and Rashida was the one that was gonna come and, her circumstances. So it's like, man, I hadn't cried as much as I have since doing this podcast, right? Because when I'm having this conversation, most of the story that I'm telling in my head is, it's just me. Yeah. Until I'm hearing it from you. Yeah. And then your story sounds just like mine. And it's like, damn, no, we all sharing in this. Yeah. So this mass incarceration thing is something that happened to us. Yeah. That we're sharing that experience through. Yeah. So I appreciate you for that part. And then on top of that, like, again, the what's the word that I want to use? The tenacity to continue, because I might have overlooked when you said that was 6-7 years ago. Yeah. When the initial conversation happened. Man, you know how, well, yes, you do. Shit, you just talked about it. Like, after, when you're home and there is a certain level of us. Yeah. When I say us, I mean formerly incarcerated individuals who, I hate to, when I have to articulate this because I don't like to say it from a arrogant stance. But what I'm saying is, like, there are certain levels of us who stand out above the majority of us who have been through this. And I feel like a lot of times people highlight us and it gives a disservice to what the real issues are. Because the real issue is we were able to fight through a lot of the shit that most of us couldn't. Most of us, like, them walls, and once you get them doors slam behind you, once they tell you that your name is not your name no more and you are six numbers, once you have to ask people to use the bathroom. Terrible, yeah. Like, I just seen a county jail posted on Facebook. They did shakedown. It was a celebratory post saying that all 6 days to Christmas and we did a shakedown and look what we found. All they found was like rags and extra pillows. Yeah. It's like, bro, that's just trauma on top of trauma. Yeah. And people don't recognize that most of the people that go through what we went through are just getting broken down more and more. There you go. Every time something happens. Every time. We were able to persevere. Yeah. But most aren't. Yeah. Most come home and become Lil Ray Ray. Yeah. Who they be like, man, he can't get right. This nigga keep going back to the joint. Yeah. You don't think something happens to him every time he goes? Yeah. He's experiencing more trauma each time and breaking down a little bit more. Yeah. So now this person, what he could have been, he's not given the outlet. Yeah. You're not able to heal because Where do you talk about this at?
Yeah.
Who do you identify with? I'm gonna have to email you too because I'm doing a thing here called the Formerly Incarcerated Caucus, where I'm working on building power amongst us. One, to center leadership development, because another thing that happens that I recognize is that they see that, oh, Starr, she articulate, she nice looking, she know how to present well. Have you ever heard that before? You present well? That means that basically you know how to look good for white people.
Yeah.
Like, right? So like all of those things allow us to be sit in positions where people assume we know what we're doing and then don't support us and then point the finger at us when we fail.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So so I'm working to build around that. So I will definitely send you an email and tie you into that. But
yes.
Moving forward with what we were talking about with your story, can I walk you back into the penitentiary?
Go ahead.
Okay. So this little segment of the podcast is like I'm talking to you about how your actual prison life was. How was your MP3 player? Are you a music person?
I am.
Okay.
Music soothes the soul.
Right.
It do. I think when I'm like really having a hard time, I lean on more of church music, of course.
Okay.
It kind of, calms your spirit, calms my spirit, of course. And, I'm just more chill, more focused. It took a while for me to get there, but I did get there. And when I got there, I actually love it. And still to this day, if I feel like I'm going through something, or even if I'm not going through something, I just want to just thank God just for being able to just be here to share my story. And, hopefully one day, I'm helping the next person heal any type of trauma that they're going through. When I'm on my crunk stuff, baby, I get busy.
Okay.
I will put on Jeezy. I put on, I don't know. I just put on some little thug music and I'm just like really feeling myself.
All right.
When I'm in love, I'm on some TLC type of stuff.
Man, that's crazy. That's what I never heard on nobody players in the joint. I would hear Plenty Mary, but I never used to hear TLC.
I love her. Love them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, love Mary too. Don't get me wrong.
I would love to see one of y'all MP3 players from the female.
Oh, you know what? Johnetta got her player right now.
She do? And
she was listening to it last night or night before, and she said, "Don't talk about me, Starr. Look." And I said, "Johnetta, why is you listening to this MP3 player?" And she said, "Sis, please don't judge me." So we got an MP3 player.
Listen, I need to check that out. Because I be kind of trying to put in my Apple Music some of the playlists, making me like when I was on the yard, I used to listen to this, but it's hard to get back to all of them songs until like one come on and you be like, oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Beyonce too. Love her. That's my girl.
What's the best book you read?
Honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you. I did not read in prison.
Straight up?
I didn't.
Okay.
I never read in prison, and I'm going to tell you why. I never even got my GED when I was in prison. And I always told myself, I said, you know what, when I go to prison, I said, when I went to prison, after a while, I'm like, I'm going to get my GED, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But I just feel like because I still had so much rage in the inside, even like when I would go to the hole, I would be in the hole for so long, I wouldn't even pick up a book. This is how angry and how much in my head I would be. And it was just more so thinking. Like, and it was just like, why? Why am I here? Why did, my mother abandon me? Why did this? I'm starting to face me. So it's like, I can't even, and this is just real, I couldn't even get into reading a book. I couldn't even get into my education because when there's no outside noise, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the why, the trauma. So I can't even focus on, educational tools that I'm going to need when I come home. Or I can't even just try to clear my mind and read a good book or a good hood story or, whatever the case may be, because I'm just like, this is my life. I'm sitting here on a mat in prison. Like, it's not like I had a horrible life, you know. Like my dad spoiled me. I love my dad so much. My dad was my everything. It was nothing in the world that he would not do for me.
What he say? Where the fuck all this money come from?
Like what, Starr?
I seen that like, dog. That's kind of
like,
old
what
ass
is
daddy.
going on?
You know, I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Do you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be an old daddy. By the time they 20, I'm gonna be like in my 60s. So I'm gonna be one of them old daddies. Like, man, where you get that from?
That was him. Yeah, that's crazy because my dad had me when he was 55 years old.
I know. I saw the story.
Yeah.
I seriously watched.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Okay. So that's what it's kind of like when you have a kid when you're a little older.
Yeah, and I was daddy's girl, so it's just like I had everything I wanted. Like I'm talking about a car at 11 years old. You know, he teaching me how to drive down the road. You know, it was just like anything you want, Starr, you can have. You don't never have to steal. You don't have to rob. You don't have to kill. Come to your father. So I'm sitting on this mat, and it's like anytime I got some alone time, my mind is just like, why? Like, why me? Like, why was my mother on drugs? You know, why did my dad send me back up to my mother when, you know, I turned 13 years old? Why couldn't I just stay with him? Why, like, it's everything was why. So it's so many questions in my head of you know, why, and just trying to heal and just trying to put pieces together, because now it's me versus me. Now I'm facing me head on, you know. So it's just like when I'm out on the yard, I'm just chilling with my girls, we just talking, we mingling, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's my focus. But it's like when I'm alone, I can't even like really, you know, sit still to even get my brain quiet, you know. So that's the honest to God truth of
that's
why.
That's deep as hell, because that means that you did a lot of introspection.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know that I've ever heard that story before, because most people need some level of like guidance to that, a book or somebody to say,
to calm
look
that
at
down.
you.
Yeah.
So like for you to find it in you was.
Yeah. So moving forward though,
okay.
You know, like when I came home, my mind started settling. And, you know, as I was stating, you know, the more I would start speaking, I would start healing some of my trauma. And it's just like my heart was starting to relax more. And I got my GED, which I'm so happy and proud, which of course I always knew that I could. But because, you know, I'm just dealing with so much trauma. And like you said, it's like you trying to heal from trauma, then you got more trauma. You just like, damn, I'm trying to get right from here. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like when I started getting, you know, in a better, healthy mind space, and, you know, just speaking and clearing some of these waves out, I was just able to focus more. So now, when I'm silent, my mind is not loud. You know, it's quiet, it's peace, it's calm. You know, I met the love of my life. I had my first child.
Right, now we're going too fast.
Okay.
Give me a few more minutes. I'm getting us there. Because I got to ask you this, because I have never walked a female prison yard. So in the male prison yard, religious organizations run the yard.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why a lot of guys join religious organizations while they're incarcerated, right? Part of it is to find God, but part of it is also for like power reasons. You got protection or power, right? So I don't know how it is in the female, like, y'all got a Nation Islam?
Well, I think what you just spoke about, I didn't know that, but I have heard that before, you know, that, you know, men will join certain religions. Women don't, you know.
Right, because my question is, why do guys join religious organizations inside? Then I remember, wait a minute, this is a different conversation. That ain't the case over there. So like, women don't, you know. I think women already are emotional beings, you know. So you know, just getting, you know, when you go to church and you start hearing the power of God, you know, as we are already emotional creatures, you know, that just brings that, you know, that emotionalness more up out of us, and just that spiritual side. But, you know, people just
having like a going to a certain spirituality. No, it's never like that. I mean, we do have some that's in prison that are Muslims. You know, we do have majority that are Christians, but it's not like that, you
right.
know.
So who
Me
run
and
the
prison
yard?
are really
So who run the yard?
well, the West Side they ran the yard, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all
Sorry, I'm just
like
playing.
that.
No, I'm just playing. No, but don't nobody really run a yard. Women ain't really like that hard, just to be honest.
Right,
like I ain't
exactly,
like, you know, like ain't nobody really that hard. Like, and I'm not acting like I'm over here. I was just
No, for
so
sure,
hard,
for sure.
you know. But I didn't take nothing from nobody. Let me just be clear about that. But I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't no bully. Like I was always the nice friend, you know. Like out of my friends, they will always be like, Starr is so nice, you know. Like I just if I ran with my girls and you know we just came across I got into a relationship in prison.
Okay.
And I feel, listen, I don't even get into fights at all. Only fights I have ever had in my entire life, it just always is about a relationship. That's it. That's all. Like, I'm not like the type of person like, oh, Starr, she stole my man, or Starr, she did this. Like, that's not even, no. Any fight I have ever been into before I went to prison, during prison, a little bit after prison when I first came home. Just a little bit. But it was always about a relationship. So, for me, I like, you know, just knowing like, you know, 95% of the women that were in prison, that's majority where their fights came from. So it's not like
that's what I was just thinking. Like, so it's the reverse in there. So in male prisons, there's like heavy religious organization structure.
Yeah, that's
in women's prison, though, the norm seems to be more like interrelationships in there and all of that. Like, that's not as taboo. Because in the men's joint, it's fake taboo.
Yeah.
And I say fake taboo because these niggas be like sneaking, geeking and shit too. Like, right?
Right.
Bro, I done seen them. You be, I ain't. That's
That's
another
a
conversation.
Yeah.
So, that being said, though, what was the toughest thing for you in prison? Like, what was the toughest thing for you to get over?
I think the toughest thing for me was just starting to realize everything didn't require a response. Silence. You have to start being silenced. Your peace. If you want freedom, you have to discipline yourself. And that comes with being silenced. You can never win with a CO. You can never win. And I just started learning that I'm only hurting myself. They're going home every night. And it was just like, they said something. I had to say something back. I had to get the last word. But it was just like me getting the last word. Now I'm sitting over in the hole. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she threatened me. Like, no, I did not. No, you just told me to shut up. And I was like, no, you shut up. And then it was like, she threatened me. And it was like, no, I did not. You know what I'm saying? Like, she seemed aggressive when she said, like, so I just started learning silence is more powerful than any tool, anything. Just silence, just be quiet, and you will start hearing exactly what it is that you need to hear. So
what's the scariest thing that happened?
The scariest thing that happened,
have you ever been afraid that you wouldn't get out?
No, I've never been afraid that I would not get out, because I started growing toward the end. But I'm gonna say this: the scariest thing to me was watching women that came in with a short amount of time kill themselves. That was scary to me, and it was scary to me because you just never know what one's mind is thinking. You know what another person is going through. So I just remember I was in the hole, and I was next to a young lady. I cannot think of her name. I'm so sad right now because I was thinking about her on the way coming here. But, you know, we were talking, and we was talking that night. She was telling me, you know, she had 4 years. She had a beautiful daughter, couldn't wait to go home to her daughter. And then all of a sudden the next morning, like we kind of like fell asleep speaking on the vent. The next morning, all you hear was dum, 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 dum. And they was like, open the door, open the door. And they was like, get her down, get her down. And I'm like, what is all that noise? And it's like literally right next to me. And I had no, Q, that's her name, Q. Rest in peace, Q. And all of a sudden, I just heard like a lot of crying. I'm just like looking out the door, can't see what's going on. And I'm hearing all this crying, and then even the officer like throwing up, crying. And they was like, she's dead. And I'm just like, wow. And it scared me because you just don't know how a person's mind can just shift that fast. Like, we were literally just talking. She was so happy, like, for her not to have that much time. So that's scary, that how I'm telling you, I'm fighting and dealing with trauma, and my mind can't even be quiet and to just be still to even focus on just something as reading a book. And how your mind can just switch from like, oh, I got a beautiful daughter I'm going home to I just don't even want to be here. Like, why did my father molest me? Or why did my uncle? You get what I'm saying? Because these are thoughts that I'm thinking, not that. But I'm just saying, like, my trauma that I was going through, but just how quick that negative thought was, I just don't even want to be here no more. Dang. Like, that scared me. So, yeah, like I said, rest in peace to her. That was like, rest in peace to Q. Yeah, that was really like traumatic. That was.
All right, now I can walk you up out of there, because that's what I like to do. I like to get us into the trauma and kind of expose it, but differently than the trauma porn that people be used to trying to pass out.
Yeah.
It's from our perspective this time.
Yeah.
So, on the lighter note, what's the best part about being home?
Freedom.
Right? Talk to me about that. What does that mean for you? What is freedom?
Freedom just means just owning your own, your own rights, your own space, just owning who you are as a person, not being, told, like you said, hey, can I go to the bathroom? Can I, cut your light off? Just owning your own space. I love being in my own space. Let me tell you something. I been in Pittsburgh literally since I came home from prison. Nobody will be like, oh, I be seeing Starr go out. I don't go out. I just love staying in my space. And listen, my man told me that I was institutionalized. And I'm like, why would you say that? Because I really be lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go out like with my friends in Detroit. Like, if I come to Detroit. But I just like, just being, to myself, just owning my own space and just knowing like, I have the freedom to, just do as I please when I please, But it's still rules in the world. You know what I'm saying? Isn't it crazy? It's still rules, because it's been days where I'm just like, I'm about to go down here and I didn't, let me say this too. This is very important for me to say. I know a lot of people, I have a lot of, people that look up to me. They respect who I am as a person. They respect the growth in me. It takes for people to have been in prison with me to know the growth in the woman that I am today. But I must make this very clear. I am still human. I need people to know that. No, for real, because I just be feeling like I don't want no, like, let's just say I came across an altercation. And then people be like, oh, that bitch act like she was. You get what I'm saying? Okay. I don't like that. I don't put myself into situations where I'm about to get into a fight with somebody. That I don't do. I'm blessed to not be put into a situation, even with my partner, as I just stated. All my fights have come from relationships. But I'm just saying that I am human at the end of the day. Yeah, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, one thing for sure, trauma never goes away, ever. Yeah. You're never going to lose none of your trauma. So any little thing could, sometimes trigger, things that I may have been through, or, sometimes it could just be a bad day for me. Oh, for and sure. It's just like, who you think you're talking to? You know what I'm saying? And then boom, things can go left. Like I said, I don't put myself into that situation, and I don't even really think negative no more. Like, everything I think about is always positive. Anytime I'm getting on the phone with my girls, it's always like, what's the next move? Like, that's just the type of mindset that like we be on, but if it came to that, it came to that. But if it don't, it don't. But that's not what we're trying to be on. That's not what we're trying to represent. But, as I just stated, we're human. That's just the moral of the story. We are human. And it's rules in the world, if you get into a fight, you're going to jail. You get into a fight in prison, you're going to the hole, So if you're at the stoplight, you go through the red light, you're getting a ticket. You know what I'm saying? You go out of place in prison, you're getting an out of place ticket, So it's just rules, So what is freedom?
No, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciated that message because I do CVI work and people act like that means because I am in the streets pushing peace for our young people that I won't bust your motherfucker. Don't do the wrong shit. You still get yourself in trouble, right? So
no, like, for real. No, seriously.
I don't want nothing like that ever, right? Like you said, we keep our mentalities in the right place and we're working in the right places in
for
life.
Sure.
But you got to respect people's space and like all of that. So that was a good message. I approve this message. So as we come near our close, there has also been in media lately a few different conversations. I think it was originally popularized by Mike Epps, but now I'm starting to see it in a few different places where people are saying, stop celebrating these niggas when they get out the penitentiary. Saying that because, you know, you did 10 years and you came home and your mama made sure that you had some clothes on your back and somewhere you could lay and help you try to find a job or maybe get a car, whatever it was that they did to support you. Somehow it has been turned into a celebration in the media. So first of all, what's your thoughts on that? And then I got a question in regards to reentry.
I don't really think, I think that people are celebrating because I notice a lot of people when we pick our people up from prison, I'm looking at some of the comments and they like, do y'all celebrate that for graduation?
That's
or
exactly
do y'all,
why I asked
yeah,
you.
you
See
know what
your
I'm saying?
comments,
yeah.
right?
It's just like, do y'all do this? Do y'all do that? I think it's more so like celebrating like redemption. You know, just giving our sister that support. Let me tell you something. One thing that I have noticed, coming home from prison is the lack of support. It's not even about resources as much because there are resources out here. Now, whether you know about them, like for instance, I had a resource that was brought to me and they said, hey, you know this program, they pay your rent for 6 months. And I'm like, what? They like, yeah, they'll pay your rent for 6 months. All you got to do is just have a job. So I go to my PO. Hey, do you know about this program that help you pay your rent for 6 months? He's like, oh yeah. But
why don't you tell me?
There you go. You get what I'm saying? So it is resources out here, but if you don't know them, it's I don't know if you go. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Depending
why
on
what we do here at the Brighter Way is so important.
Yeah.
We help navigate people to those.
Good, yeah, because you won't know unless someone, like you said, someone just happened to just say it. And so I think the support and the relationships that families are having with one coming home from being incarcerated, and it's really a disheartening thing because if I went in, if you listen to my story correctly, I went, I was in and out of placement throughout my years in prison. And I mean, before I went to prison, I was in and out of placement just in my younger teens. Soon as I came up, I'm straight up just snapping, going out the door. My mama throwing me in juvenile. I ain't even been home a year. I mean, there in Detroit a year. I'm getting thrown in juvenile. Now I'm in placements permanently. And what I noticed is I never built a relationship with my mom. I never built a relationship with my siblings. I never built a relationship with my grandmother, my granddad, my uncle, my cousins. None of them here in Detroit. So now, boom, I done got shifted to prison for 10 years. So only thing that everybody can remember is what I did before I went to prison. So now I come home and that's all you're going to talk about. That's all. It's just like, girl, if you think she going to do. Because what did she learn? Now, remind you, I just told you I was in prison acting up. I'm in prison fighting. I'm in prison doing this. I'm in prison doing that. So I feel like the hardest part coming home to me, this is the hardest part.
Okay.
Is trying to get your reputation back in order.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, 100%.
They don't know you.
Because I was a robber before I left, so I'm in a small city, them niggas think I'm still on tip. I have to, bro, I ain't him.
Yeah.
I ain't dog no more.
That's the hardest part right there. It's just trying.
So that brings me to my next question. What's missing from reentry? How can more people be helped in that transition?
I think what's missing in reentry is rebuilding with families. I'm going back to that again. I just feel like that's the biggest thing because I feel like your family is your family, you know. Your mom is your mom, you know. Your aunt is your aunt. Your uncle is your uncle. Your sister is your sister. Your brother is your brother. And I feel like 90% of people that come home, you know, things be fine at first. Don't get me wrong. Everything be fine at first. And then for whatever reason, you know, everything just kind of just shies away. And like I said, they don't know you. And I feel like they need to, even if it was inside, you know, start helping some of these families before people come home from prison, just heal their relationships, whether it's just starting off with you and your mom. Because for you to get to prison, something happened in your past.
Sure.
You know,
100%.
something was in your past. It don't matter. Like you was misguided somewhere. You got some trauma from your mom, your dad, you know, wherever it come from. But it started there in your childhood. And I just feel like, you know, it just needs to be more one-on-one. Like they have therapies in prison, but I just don't think it's strong enough, you know. I don't. I think that it's always good to speak to someone that you don't know. And that's another reason why women form this sister bond in prison, because you can speak to people and you can just, you know, just tell people what you've been through, and you know, just trying to heal yourself and just trying to talk about it and just trying to let it out. Like, dang, this is what I went through. Like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I don't understand, you know, but I just know that from my experience and, you know, people that I have known coming home from prison, everybody that's not doing so well, or even if you are doing well, they have no relationship with their family. Everything is built within the sisterhood of people that you were incarcerated with. And then, you know, you got the family like, oh, she talking to that, like that's what they need to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, them girls in prison, they're my sisters, you know. And it's unfortunate that, you know, you come home and you can't have that relationship with your real family, you know. But, you know, hey, it just is what it is. And but that dumb girls, those that's the sisterhood, you know. That's who you grow up with, and that's who you start learning, and we're growing together. Like how you supposed to be with your family, your real sisters, your real brothers, your cousins, how you supposed to grow with them, and they see it all, the whole transformation. They see me at my worst. And so now when I'm at my best, they can't even see my best because all they know is my worst. But when I came into prison, them girls see me at my worst and they just watch me grow. So when all them girls showed up, it's because they watched the growth, the transformation, and they like, that girl, you had to know her to know. Like, everybody see me. All them girls showed so much love today. We did a giveaway, and all they said at the giveaway was, I'm so proud of you. I know you just heard it so much, but I'm so proud of you. But it's because they're my sisters. They seen it. They seen the bad, the ugly, the good, the great. They seen it all, you know. And all our family see is the worst, and they can't even see the good. And that's why a lot of people are stagnated today in their life.
Shit, that was a mouthful. I got one more for you, and then we can get up out of here.
Okay.
So I took this one. I'm gonna stop telling on myself on my podcast, but I hate to plagiarize without giving proper credit. So I got this from Gillian Wallow. They got a podcast called $1 Million Worth of Game. I don't know if you watch it, but Wallow did 20 years in the joint. He been home around the time we came home, actually around like 2016, I think. But he came home and he has a acronym: guidance, attention, motivation, and education, or GAME.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, is there any, and I take it and I say, like, I give free game. So is there any free game you would like to give to the listeners, to the people paying attention, you know?
Yeah. I think silence is your greatest weapon. I noticed that, you know, coming home, that it seemed like the internet just running the world. Everything is publicized. Everything is social media. Everything is just glorified. I think that people need to understand that that's not real life. What we went through, that's real life. This is fake. You can be anybody you want to be on the internet, but once you close that, like, what's really going on? And I think that more people need to come to grips and come to reality that, you know, that's something that's going to be there, but fix you internally. Because I wasn't healed and I wasn't fixed internally, that led me to prison for 10 years. I wasn't a bad person. You know, I wasn't around here, you know, just doing the most of the most. You know, I was doing the most, but not nothing so traumatic that would send me to prison for 10 years. So when I would sit in that cell and I would be like, dang, but why am I here for 10 years? I couldn't understand. But now today, as a grown woman, I understand. I had to get rid of those demons. I had to, you know, start healing from my past. And let me tell y'all something. Trauma never goes away. So I don't want nobody to ever feel like that, you know, oh, so my trauma gonna go away, and then, you know, 6-7 years you like, but you said, oh, no. Trauma never goes away, but you find a way to cope with it better. And when you start learning how to handle it, when you start learning how to cope with your trauma, you know, you will become a better person, not only for yourself, but, you know, maybe for the future of the next generation, maybe for the future of your family that you are growing. And so I just say to everybody, just find peace within yourself. You know, a lot of people are really hurting out here. And, you know, we're just trying to get a hold of the youth as well. You know, it's a lot of pain. It's a lot of pain out here. You know, find out what's hurting you and just try to heal that so that you don't become a victim of the streets. You guys are the generation, and that's the youth. And to all my sisters and even my brothers out there that think that you know, incarceration has stopped you, like, don't look at it like that. I want you to know that every single day I get up, I'm determined, and I say I'm going to do whatever I put my mind to do it. And let me tell you something, it's a task. Like I said, doors close on me, but I just do not stop. I'm never going to stop. I'm going to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and I'm going to just keep going. So I just want y'all all to know it's all love over here. I love you guys so much, and yeah.
That being said, man, y'all know how this go. Make sure you go to BET Plus, get a subscription. I don't care if you get it just for the month, so you can watch our episode of American Gangster Trap Queen Season 4, Episode 7.
There you go.
Okay, all right. Also, make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that social media stuff. Free the real. Keep the rest.
There you